All right, guys, so today we're talking about the N63. N63, if you don't know, is the engine that started in 2011. This is a twin-turbo V8. This took the place of the N62, N62 TU, right? So this engine, like I said, started in 2011. You guys ask me about this engine all the time. And I think a lot of the reason why that is, those cars are becoming cheaper. You can find a broken one for $5,000 that needs an engine. You could buy one that doesn't need an engine for 10 to 13 on up, depends on what it is, right? How many miles is on it, etc. Now, these engines have the problem with the rod bearings, right? The rod bearing is an issue with these. Not an issue at 100,000 miles. The rod bearing is an issue on this one at 70 to 80,000 miles. Goo, right? I know. So that's why you see a lot of them for sale at 75, 81, 85,000 miles. The engine's already grenaded. That coupled with the ability to tune these, to raise the boost on them, does not help at all. So they can be good engines if maintained, but people don't maintain them. And most people have no idea that at 70,000 miles, their BMW that's not very old needs rod bearings done, right? You know, there's also oil return lines for the turbos. There's turbo problems. There's all kinds of different things that have to be tended to. A lot of guys are installing catch cans on these, and you're thinking, man, I don't want to have to do that. If I buy one of these, then you got to dump the catch cans all the time. A lot of guys put 2 catch cans on this, one on each side. I was just watching a video about that not long ago. And the guy, you know, after several hundred miles, unscrewed them both. They're both full. If you don't dump them all the time, you start getting misfires because it's spilling over that liquid and it's sucking into the intake. So there is that. But here's my outlook on it. These cars will be the next most common V8 BMW bought. It will. Whether you love them or hate them, that's what's coming. N62, there's a lot of that stuff on the used market too. But that engine wasn't near as powerful. And you can take a N63 and essentially make it an S63 with just a tune, right? The same horsepower. So that 63 comes in F10 M5. I think you buy the X5M and some other stuff too. M6, you know, things like that. Crazy things. Those cars, an F10 M5 starts with about 22, about 20, 22 and goes on up. Depends on what year, the mileage, the condition of the car. So it's about half the price of a F10 like 550i, right? Essentially, that's what you're looking at. Now, when you see the 7 Series, the F01, the 7 Series in 2011 and up, 2009 or 10 and up on that one. I can't remember the cutoff year. You see 740s and you see 750s, right? That's the 2 most common 7 Series you see for sale. So 740 has the N55 engine, which also has rod bearing problems at 70, 80,000 miles. So you see the 740 selling for more than the 750 those same years, an F01 chassis. And F02 chassis depends on what, if it's extended or not extended or regular, there's variants of it, right? So how much the rod bearings cost on that? That all depends. It's just like the M5. It all depends on what parts you want to use, if you're going to pay somebody to actually do it, or what action you're going to take at it. If you're going to do it yourself, you know, I think it costs quite a bit for the APR bolts, what, $385 for the M5. I see them as low for $300 for the S63. You know, not too, or N63, S63. Not too bad, really. $300. ARP bearings, you know, they're around $200. So you could do it for $500, $600, let's say $600. How you bought an oil pan gasket and any other little thing you got to fix while you're in there. But most of you guys are going to say, well, Nathan, I can't do it myself. I don't know how to do that myself. And the problem is, there you go. The problem is, it's a new enough car, most of your shops are not going to be doing that yet. it's hard to find somebody to even do S85 or anything for rod bearings. No shop wants the liability to touch that. And if you haven't noticed, mostly in the United States, the shop never wants to open the engine and touch it. They don't want the liability of them doing something wrong or something going wrong or new parts failing. That car coming back blowing up, because there's no second chance on doing bearings. You did it right or she's grenaded. There's no other option. You didn't kind of do it wrong and it kind of blew up, and you can still fix it. That doesn't exist. And just by looking at the price of a new crankshaft, let's say, okay, so we spun a rod bearing, we botched the job up, right? We need, at the minimum, a crankshaft and a set of rods. For that, since the crankshaft's in such high demand, you're still talking several $1,000s to get some rods and a crankshaft, right? You can't buy a used one because you can't trust that. Even if they said it was good, you can't trust that. If you ever built the engine, you know what I'm talking about. How much does a N63 cost? About $3,500 to $4,000. How much does a S63 cost if you got to replace it? It's been about 3 days since I looked it up. I can't remember exactly. But you could knock on $7,000, $8,000 real damn quick, and they're not very common. And you have to get the one for the car. If you have F10, you got to get F10 one. If you have X5, you got to get the F5 or X5M one. If you don't, you're gonna have oil pan differences. You're gonna have timing chain length differences. You're gonna have to retime that engine more than likely to get the chain and everything off of it. You don't want to go down that road. You have to get the right one to do it. Now, here's the nasty truth about it. And we went through the same thing with the M5. With the M5 I have, the S85. Okay, you have the initial cost of the bearings and your gaskets and your bolts. So let's just say M5 is $600, okay? Let's say $700. $600 probably won't get it on this car, E60 M5. So let's say you spent $600. Let's put this in perspective as I was doing it, right? Let's say I spent $600 on this for rods and bearings. Not rods and bearings, bearings and bolts, right? Let's say I botched the job up, like Car Ninja did. I didn't say that. Anyhow, let's say I botched the job up and it spun a bearing the next day after 60,000 miles. Okay. Let's say you just found another engine. S85 right now is what, $5,500? You went out and bought the engine for $5,500. You're now $6,000 in it, right? I'll just put the new engine in, we'll be good to go. Oh no, that's not the way it works. Now you gotta do the rod bearings in the engine you just bought before you can even put it in the car because you can't trust it, right? Even no matter how much they preach, we just did rod bearings this mileage. Are you gonna put it in your car and hope for the best? No. Then you're another $500 plus in it. Well, let's say $700 plus in it. Let's say you're $6,700 in an S85 if you botch the job up and you gotta buy a different engine. That's not including all the other stuff the engine's gonna need. You're gonna need throttle actuators done again if you don't have a good set between the two. If you have S63 or N63, you better hope you have a good set of turbos out of the one of the two engines, but the new engine you got probably doesn't come with turbos. See what I mean? If you mess up a little bit, it'll backlash and slap you right in the face. And it'll slap you in the face to a scale most people have to sell the car, right? I mean, I'm not trying to be a dick, I'm just telling you. And a lot of you guys are shaking your head yes that have these engines and know the situation. The moral of the story is, if you're gonna go buy one of these engines, there's two things you have to know. One, you have to be able to work on this yourself. The second thing is, you have to have already done rod bearings, main bearings, or something before and know what to do, know how to do it. If you do not know those two things, don't buy a S85, don't buy a S65, don't buy a N63, an S63, N55, don't buy none of that stuff. An N20, all that's rod bearing engines, right? So hopefully this clears it up. I mean, you guys are on me every day about N63 stuff and some S63 stuff. You're seeing the stuff cheaper and cheaper and cheaper. I was looking at a 2000 and I don't remember, 11 or 12 X5M. And it was 15 grand. It had some engine noise, right? Engine noise. Well, it don't just make engine noise for no reason, right? It's probably knocking, okay? Whether somebody's already tried to fix it or it's just done. Once it knocks a little bit, that crankshaft's done. It's got at the minimum be taken out and turned down, and you need whatever rod it's knocking on, you need to replace that rod. If it was my car, replace all the rods. So there is that. I didn't buy that thing for 16 grand because I knew better. If it was, I think it was worth about 17 to 18,000, and they wanted 16 with a blown engine. I'm no mathematician. That doesn't add up, right? You would have to get it for, let's say 7 grand, let's say 8 grand. At 8 grand, I know I can make that happen, but it had 99,000 miles on it, or maybe 103, somewhere in there. At that mileage, you guys know, I'm going to tell you again, it needs control arms. That thing needs to have the transfer case checked out heavily. It's going to need tires, it's going to need brakes, it's going to need all coolant related items done. Turbos are probably on their way out at that mileage. It's going to need rear upper control arms. Struts might be getting a little iffy at that mileage. Interior is going to start looking a little shabby if it wasn't taken care of correctly at that mileage. You're going to have some dash lights on. It's going to need money, right? The money lights are going to be on. It's going to look like a damn Christmas tree on the dashboard. There again, if you don't have ISTA, if you don't have the right stuff to fix it with, turn away and just run. Turn away and run screaming. Don't do it. Don't take the chance. It'll empty your checking account out no matter how rich you are. That's it. Thanks for watching. Have a good day.